Up to this point, each poem has been an original from the CD I Got Joy. However, today's poem was written by James Weldon Johnson. Now, who was he? James Weldon Johnson was the first African American to be admitted to Florida bar. He was a professor at Fisk University. He was an author, a prolific songwriter and poet. In fact, his writings include Lift Every Voice, which are the lyrics to our Negro National Anthem. And he also wrote numerous books. One of them was God's Trombones, which is a series of 7 Negro sermons in verse. In fact, today's poem was taken from that book. Now, as we end the 40 days of Lent and enter into the Passion Week, culminating Christ's 3-year ministry here and his time here on earth, there are no words to describe the deep love and the tremendous sacrifice of Jesus. Scarcely would one give his life for someone he knows, but to take on the guilt and the shame of a stranger is beyond human understanding. That's why such a divine act could only be done by Jesus the Christ, the sent one. The title of today's poem is The Crucifixion by James Weldon Johnson. Jesus, my gentle Jesus, walking in the dark of the Garden of Gethsemane, saying to the 3 disciples, sorrow is in my soul, even unto death. Tarry ye here a little while and watch with me. Jesus, my burden, Jesus, praying in the dark of the Garden of Gethsemane, saying, Father, oh, Father, this bitter cup, oh, let it pass from me. Jesus, my sorrowing Jesus, the sweat like drops of blood on his brow, talking with his Father while the 3 disciples slept, saying, Father, oh, Father, not as I will. No, not as I will, but let thy will be done. Oh, look at black-hearted Judas sneaking to the dark of the garden, leading his crucifying mob. Oh, God, strike him down. Why don't you strike him down before he plants his kiss on my Jesus' cheek? And they take my blameless Jesus, and they drag him to the governor, the mighty Roman governor. A great Pilate, seated in his judgment hall, said, I find no fault in him. I can find no fault in this man. And Pilate washed his hands. But the people cried out, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. His blood be on our hands. And they take my loving Jesus. They spit on my precious Jesus. They dressed him up in a purple robe and put a crown of thorns upon his head. And they pressed it down. Oh, how they pressed it down. And they mocked my sweet King Jesus. Up Golgotha's rugged road, I'd see my Jesus go. I see him sink beneath the load. I see my drooping Jesus sink. And then they laid hands on Simon. Yes, Black Simon. They laid their hands on Simon. And Simon bore the cross. On Calvary, they crucified my Lord. They nailed him to the cruel tree. As the hammer rang throughout Jerusalem's streets. Yes, the hammer rang throughout all of Jerusalem's streets. And Jesus, my lamb like Jesus, shivering as the nails go through his hands. Jesus, my lamb like Jesus, shivering as the nails go through his feet. Jesus, my darling Jesus, groaning as the Roman spear plunged in his side. Jesus, my darling Jesus, groaning as the blood came spurting from his wound. Mary, weeping Mary, sees her sweet baby Jesus on the cross. Mary, weeping Mary, sees her sweet baby Jesus hanging on the cruel cross, hanging on the cross between two thieves. Jesus, my lonesome Jesus, called out once more to his Father, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Father, why hast thou forsaken me? And he dropped his head and he died. And the veil of the temple was split in two. The noonday sun refused to shine. The thunder rumbled and the lightning wrote an unknown language in the sky. What a day. Oh, what a day. I tremble. Yes, I tremble when I think how Jesus died on the steeps of Calvary. How Jesus died there for sinner man, sinner woman, sinners like you and like me. Glory. Hallelujah.